Hello, everybody! Welcome to this Xbox Live episode 304 EA Access. It's in the podcast. I am your host. I have returned, baby! I am back! I am so excited. I am back, and I am one of your hosts, Mark, aka Wingman709. And with me this week, filling in for Mr. BJ Swick 33, who just couldn't take it. 2 weeks of having to put the show together, and he's down for the count, man. He's calling us with like, oh, my computer's broke, my internet's out, whatever. The dude's just, he can't handle it. He can't hang. Two weeks of work, and look at that, he's already on vacation. So, we got Vengeful Loki filling in for him this week again. Thank you, Bo. Welcome.
It's good to be back. Hello, group. How you doing?
And always with us is my good buddy Rob. And Rob, you're muted still.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Also known as Presar on Xbox Live.
So
See, you kind of threw me there because normally I don't mute. I just stay very, very quiet. But now I actually muted, well, never mind.
And you
right.
never
You know.
sounded so good.
Hey, now.
Oh,
Oh, as I do right now that I am unmuted.
zing! So my big
Yeah, let's
question.
get Brun back.
My
Yeah.
big.
Get Brun on the phone.
My big question is, since of course, we just started, so I don't know if anyone's in the on the watching the live Twitch yet, but is everything coming through okay, Rob? Did you hear?
I heard you and I heard the music.
All right. So the question is, can we hear both of you guys? So that's what we need to know because we're doing something new with the audio. We're trying
I
something
hear
different.
myself.
And how does your level sound there? Are you quiet? Because you were real quiet the last 2 weeks when I was listening. You were always very quiet.
I think you're definitely louder than me, but I mean the volume sounds okay for me.
Okay. And go ahead, Bo. Start chatting and saying something. And 20 seconds from now, Rob will be able to hear you, and we'll see how your levels are.
I'm hoping my level is fine. Through the headset, everything sounds equal, but I know in transmission that does change.
Well, hopefully we're getting everything. We're trying something new. It's been hey, we can hear all of you, and the levels are good. Yes, woohoo! Awesome. So we did something a little different this time. We cut out some additional software that we were using because it just was killing everything on the audio, and I think the music now is probably coming through loud and clear, and our voicemails
Yes.
will be nice and loud so you guys can all hear it. So we are going to continue functioning this way. So I'm glad to hear that it is working. Thank you, all Sheps. Appreciate the feedback there in the Twitch feed. So let's move on and let's just talk about. Before we do, see, now I've been gone for 2 weeks, so everything's a little. I'm all too excited, but don't forget we got an Amazon link out there for you guys to use. It's our affiliate link. So when you guys purchase stuff at your normal low prices on Amazon, if you use our link, we get a little bitty tiny piece of that. Doesn't cost you anything. Amazon actually gives us a little bit of a thank you in financial reward for you guys sending you the traffic to them. If you are in the U.S., you can just go to thisxboxlife.com/Amazon. And of course, you're welcome to bookmark that page. If you are living outside of the U.S., you can go to our website, click on the Amazon link that is on the right-hand side, and it will auto-direct you to the local Amazon shop that is closest to you, and it'll automatically plug in our affiliate for that. So once we get some people using the UK and Spain and Germany and France and Italy and wherever else, we'll start getting some rewards to hand out to our friends over across the pond. So that'll take a few months to get built up before we can get enough credit to hand out. But that hopefully we'll have that soon available for you guys, so we can include everybody, well, almost everybody, at least those in Europe and in the U.S. can be included in
Yes.
some giveaways. So, alrighty. So, what Vengeful Loki have you been playing this week?
Well, 3 games. Wolfenstein, which
Yes.
I did not think I was going to like it. I was not on board with it actually, until listening to you talk about it, Rob. And I
Yeah.
got it, and I tell you, I want to see it made into a movie. I want to see John Cena
yeah.
play John Cena as B.J. Blazkowicz. Think it'd be pretty good.
Oh, there you go. That would be very cool, though. You're absolutely right.
Outlast, psychologically terrifying. Do not play that with headphones on at night. It is one of those things that just freaks you out. And then a little slower paced puzzle solving game, Valiant Hearts. And
How do you like that one?
It's a nice change of pace, actually. It's informative. Learning some of the backstory from World War I, which it's a dated piece that we take for granted, but it's really turning out to be kind of like I felt about Max Curse of Brotherhood at the beginning. Just one of those unknowns that jumps out and captures you.
It's pretty cheap too, isn't it? Like $15.
15, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's about it.
Sorry.
Just curious. Hey, real quick, how far along are you in Wolfenstein?
Let's see.
Wolfenstein.
Stein.
I am. Oh my gosh, where am I? I don't want to ruin anything, but I'm probably about halfway through, I would say.
Okay.
I know it doesn't tell you anything.
As I was playing, I thought it was halfway through for the majority of the game, but it kept going and going and going. But yeah, it's a fantastic story, and I'm actually. What happens is you eventually go into that bad guy's tower, and then and you have to make a choice on who you're going to save. It turns out that you can replay the game doing that other storyline, and I just started that.
Well, are you talking about towards the beginning when they're in the? Okay, yeah. I have gone back and started a second game where I chose the other person just to see what the difference would have been.
Okay.
But I have not finished the first character yet.
It's great stuff. Fantastic.
Yes, it is. So kudos.
Kudos love the story. Love the story. The character development in there. Let me ask you this: don't you, the way that they present everything?
Wake me when this love fest is over.
Stop it! You're just jealous. So, don't they do such a fantastic job just getting you to like care about the characters?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some stuff that happens to some of them. I mean, it's really like heart-wrenching a little bit, just because you get so attached to them and you care about what's going on with them.
Yeah, there's character development in it, and you do care about it, and it's not like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield campaign where it's a war game, but you don't care about the backstory and the way that they'll have the little flashbacks of.
Hey, don't you care
life.
about Captain Price? Oh man, I'm gonna have to take this show solo. I can see that.
No, it just it just gives it more depth to the character, and I don't know. It's more of playing a movie. Not to give credit to the other side, but the Nathan Drake Uncharted games on PlayStation.
Those are awesome.
It plays kind of like that, to where it's almost like you're playing a movie, and you're following this character's progression and backstory, and that's what Wolfenstein has done.
Oh yeah, and they do those, or Blazkowicz does those little one-liners, and some of them just crack me up.
Yep.
And or how about that one part where he's in that hospital? Did you get through there? That was early on.
The asylum where he's recovering.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just how they presented that, how like the 14, 15 years went by. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just so clever, very cinematic.
Yeah, it was the rapid, flipping through the pages, but you'll see the walls deteriorate, coloring on it, re-wallpaper, the beds moved around. So yeah, it's a good.
Excellent.
It's a good way to show time passing.
Oh heck yeah! I'm very pleased that you like it.
Wingman, you got to jump on board and try it. I'm telling you.
Not for $60.
You know what? If you're not happy with it, I'll cover 30 of it. How's that?
I know where you live. I can come collect.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You're not too far.
Well, if someone hadn't talked me into digital only, I could lend it to you.
Ooh, ouch. I think that was a zing on me.
Little bit.
All right. Well, I keep hearing people talk about this thing, and I keep going and looking at like Twitch replays, and every time someone's playing it, it's just like it looks so boring. Like there's nothing going on, and yeah, it looks good, but I keep falling back to Rage, where it was such a gorgeous looking game, but the gameplay itself was not fun. The game wasn't fun. I think back of like, yeah, Doom when it first came out was fun, but Doom 3 wasn't any fun. I mean, it's just like, I guess, and that's what I expect kind of from Wolfenstein is that I'm surprised to hear you guys say there's a story. I'm not used to hearing that from an id game. So it's, if it hits $30 and there's like nothing else to play, I might buy it at that point, but I can't see myself buying it. I bought Thief for $30 and wished I hadn't. So that's going to be my point for buying Wolfenstein's got to be $30. But
Fair enough.
if I'm late to the party, oh well. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it though.
Okay, be stubborn.
So
Why don't you pick it up when Brun gets his Xbox One?
oh, I got plenty of time then. Because he's getting one, just not in the next. He might get it when they launch the next Xbox. I think he's going to get
Yeah.
it then because he's waiting for that perfect price point. So, and
Yeah.
I got to say, I was cracking up when you kept bugging him last week. You kept taking jabs at him on not getting an Xbox on an Xbox One. I'm like, I don't even know if we should have him on the show if he's not going to get one. I mean, come on. So. But he's got a 360. He's got a couple. So, and he is the founder. Yes, he's got founder status. He was the founder of this Xbox Live. So we got to be kind of nice to him. So even though we own everything now, but no,
Yeah,
Bron-
we have nothing split three ways.
exactly. We split it right down the middle perfectly.
Yeah.
We all get a half of nothing.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, but and yes, I know it would be a third.
Yes.
So I'm being stupid.
But in this case, half and a
Half
third.
of nothing. You can see because we get nothing, we get more.
Yeah.
So we get a bigger chunk of the pie. We all get a half. So, all right. So Rob, what have you? Bo? Is that all you played then? Is that
That's
wrap
it.
All right.
Yep.
How about you, Rob?
Yeah, this week I've just done some Lego, Marvel, Disney Infinity. Just playing some of those games with my son. I'm actually kind of impressed with Disney Infinity, just the different variety of gaming that's in there. I really wasn't expecting a whole lot, but just having the different missions and all, it's actually pretty cool. It's kind of neat having the pirates, having the Incredibles, and just all those different environments. Other than that, I've also been I got invited to that preview program about, I don't know, a week or two ago. I don't remember if I talked about it last show or not. And that's another thing that I've been kind of impressed with as well, because you're part of that too, right? A wing
Yes.
and Bo, are you part of that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess all three of us are on there. But I'm just really impressed with how Microsoft has presented that and everything that they're doing to, I guess, further the Xbox One. And I just have to give them props because just being part of that preview program, it kind of shows me, or at least it gives me the perception that Microsoft kind of cares about what's going on. More
There's
so.
your prop.
What?
There's your prop.
Oh, okay, whatever. So, that they're looking at these features, they're, trying to get feedback for them. I mean, this is something that at least I'm not used to. I don't know about you guys, because normally, traditionally, you get what you get, and in most consoles, you just get an update. Like my son's 3DS, he plays that thing. There's updates here and there. I have no idea what's added to them.
Yeah.
And I just figure it's just to fix some vulnerability in their store or something. And otherwise you really don't get much functionality. However, here they're just cranking out these features and they're asking for feedback and just how the quests are set up. So you have to basically try out new features and
Yeah.
then rate it at the end. It's just kind of neat. To me, it's
And
innovative.
they're telling you what's included.
Yeah,
And yeah, with the quest thing, when I first tried it, I was like, well, this is kind of dumb. But then I'm like, you know what? At least it gets you trying it. Like this last one was good because with the updates to the activity feed, I didn't even realize that you could like and share and comment and all that stuff. And I found that out by going through that, doing those quests in that
right.
preview
Hmm.
program app. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And there's multiple way to do things. So yeah, I definitely kudos to Microsoft for what they're doing. I think they're doing
Oh,
great.
oh yeah,
Communication is good.
exactly. And that whole smart what's it called? What's the mobile phone thing called?
Smart glass.
The smart glass. So even the smart glass has a beta app that you can run.
Yeah.
And just having that integration between the two is, I mean, it's pretty sweet. And as part of the preview program, you get to experience it just a week or two in advance of everybody else. So it's not even like, hey, these are some future features which we may or may not roll out. I mean, this is stuff that's coming, and they're basically having you test it
Yep.
and provide some feedback. So I've just been pretty impressed with that, and um, just
There
I've
was
been
two.
enjoying it so far.
There
What?
was two updates though this month so far
Yeah.
because they're man the August preview dude was brutal. Man, my dashboard went to like garbage, man. It
What do you
was
mean?
I had all kinds of performance issues. I
Oh,
had
really?
video issues. I had games that wouldn't launch. I had to move I had to move Call of Duty to my internal hard drive to get it to even
Oh, yeah.
run. I had problems with one I'll talk about a little bit later. And then they came out with an update the other day, and then all of a sudden things began to work again. And now my
Right.
performance seems to be improved. Still seeing some weird issues, but it was better now today and yesterday than it was earlier this week. This whole week has been like a nightmare.
Okay.
Because when I got back home, I was gone for a couple of weeks. Got home, got the system updated, and I was just like, what happened? They broke it. I mean, it was like it was running like my 360. I was like, oh no, it's too early in the life cycle to be running like
Yeah.
that. So, but it's gotten better with their little emergency update they put out. Even though the
Mhm.
things they listed, they had nothing for performance, but they had to have done something because or whatever the other things that they fixed was impacting performance
Probably
because
that's what it
now my
was.
system is working correctly. So, but yeah, that's kind of one of the caveats of being in the preview program. But
Yeah.
anyways, we've gotten way off track of what you've been playing.
Yeah. Oh, and on a last side note, there was one quest that I had, which was to uninstall a game and to reinstall it.
Oh yeah.
So I uninstalled Wolfenstein and I reinstalled it because I bought that one over at Costco. Super cheap, $33. Would that reach your price point of $30?
Not unless it's digital,
No? Okay. So, well,
and it
for me,
needs
it
to
was
be
close
30,
enough.
30 bucks.
Yes, yes, not
$30
33.
digital, not 33.
I couldn't believe how
Not
long it
30
took.
in one. Oh, dude. Yes,
So,
I was like doing Call of Duty, man. I because at first when I was troubleshooting it, I did the same thing. I deleted it and like reinstalled it. It took like a day and a half. I was
I,
like, "What's going on, man?" And that's not including the DLC. And
yeah,
and here's what I don't understand. Like on the 360, you could turn it off and walk away and it would continue to install. I don't think the Xbox One does that, even though you've got background updating on. I think it shuts everything off. Even though it's like on, it's still like on because I can come in, I do that low power mode or the instant on
yeah,
mode.
same here.
But like when I came in the next day and turned it on, that was like, oh, well, we'll resume from where we left off. I'm like, you had all night.
What
What
have
are
you
you
been doing?
doing?
Sleeping?
Yeah, like my Xbox said, oh, it's bedtime. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I had to wait let it run the whole day to finish installing. That's
And
frustrating.
as I was doing that, I was or as I was installing Wolfenstein, which it took at least a couple of hours. 'Cause I did it sometime midday. I started it, and then I remember I came back in the afternoon and I looked at it, and it was still going. And I just was like, "Whoa, that's weird." It's because you figure if it's on DVD that it would install reasonably quickly, but I guess not.
Yeah.
But I was going through some of the games trying to figure out, which one I was going to uninstall, and I found Watch Dogs, which I also got on DVD. It never
Blu-ray.
finished installing.
It's on Blu-ray.
Yeah, okay, Blu-ray. It never finished installing. So all this
Really?
time that I've been playing it, I never had the full game installed. And it must have been that because I installed it off of disk. I probably kicked it off and then, either shut it down or walked away, and then the machine turned off. I forget, it was like 40% or something.
Wow.
But that's just funny that I've been able to play the game for a couple hours into it and it's not fully installed. That just
Yeah.
is so surprising that it would actually work. But that's part of the beauty of the Xbox, I guess. So anyway, that's all
Well,
I've been playing.
all right. So I did a lot of gaming this week because I had lots of lost time. I was out for 2 weeks. So I played The Walking Dead season 2, episode 4,
Okay.
and I thought it was pretty decent. I'm looking forward to the last episode, and I really think I'm gonna probably be done with this, even though I know season three's been announced. I don't know if I'll sign up for season three. Um, I don't know. If I do, I might move it over to the Xbox One to see if they perform any better, or I might wait till the whole thing is out. But I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired of these episodic things because it's like it's great, and then by the time the next one comes out, you're like, what happened the last time? What was last season or the last episode? And it's like I think it's too much of a gap. My brain is like I'm old, I'm forgetful, I can't remember something that happened yesterday, let alone 3 4 months ago. But it was pretty decent, so I did finish that one. Played some Trials Fusion DLC. Was a little disappointed because I'm not an expert rider, and the hard tracks are a big challenge for me. I just like the medium tracks and playing. They didn't have any easy tracks on the new DLC. It was just medium and up, so I didn't get a whole lot of playtime because the hard tracks are too hard for me. So that kind of was a bummer for that DLC. It's kind of like regretted buying the season pass there. Played some Titanfall with the new update I'll talk about in a little bit. Did play some Madden 25, which I will definitely be talking about later when we have our roundtable about this EA Access thing. I tried out Motocross. Well, I didn't say on Motocross Madness. I went on my 360 to download the free title. Turns out I already owned Motocross Madness. I actually played. I booted it up, played one track, and got an achievement. I don't know what it was. Something about club stuff. I think they added in. So all I had to do was probably just, that's all I had to do is just run one lap, and I got an achievement for completing so many club missions or something. But and then I also got Crimson Dragon and Strike Suit Zero. I think that's what it was called. Those are the freebies this month for the Xbox One. I do not like Strike Suit Zero. I don't know if it's because it's the 3D. Well, not 3D. It's it's that space, like there is no up and down, left and right. You're in space, so you can go in any direction, and you're trying to play and dogfight in space, which is like I don't know. I just couldn't get the hang of that,
Yeah,
and the
the
controls.
360-degree
Man,
motion. Do you get sick?
no, but it's like I can't quite get the hang of it. I just couldn't get the hang of the steering. I just kept going past everybody like so fast. So I tried a little bit, played a little bit. I was still in the training mode, and I just like, you know what, I'm done with this. So I stopped. I've been playing Crimson Dragon. Don't really like it. Had an achievement glitch on me already in that game. I've had a lot of achievements not pop as of late. I don't know if that's related to these updates, but I'm gonna go off on a little rant here for a moment. You would think with the next generation of consoles or the current generation as we have, that after having achievements for what 8 years now, what we've had achievements since 2000, well, 9 years, right? That they could get this to work, that they would pop when you've got them done. And now with this achievement tracker, it's even more infuriating because I go in there and it shows 100% complete. And it's locked. I'm like, if the OS knows that it's 100% and I've done it, why can't it go boop? Why can't it unlock it? So I've got 3 right now that won't pop. And I've seen a lot of people complaining on the support forums, and it seems like everybody says the same thing. They'll call into Microsoft and they say, "Oh, wait a few days." Wait a few days? Are you kidding me? So, I mean, I don't play for achievements, but if it's there, you want to see that pop. You're trying to, it's like, I did it. Why can't it just trigger? So that's really frustrating that we're still having achievement unlocking issues on Xbox One. That just seems like it's so stupid. That's got to be something they should be able to fix. So, but anyways, oh, and I did watch the season finale of Every Street United. 2 of the achievements are from that, so they were 0 achievements, but still, I did everything in that thing, and 2 of them won't pop for me. But interesting documentary. I think it could have been a lot better. I just didn't care for the way the people that did it, the way they did the thing. It was very pretty, very beautiful cinema photography, HD cameras. The game looked great, and it was fun to watch them do their 4v4 today. But, it kind of stinks because it was only 8 30-minute episodes. And it's like, okay, so now we know the 4 people that get to try out for the Seattle Sounders. Now I kind of want to know, are any of them going to make it? So I guess I'm going to have to go dig up and look for those guys on my own, and do some research and see what happens with them. But it was a pretty good show. So interesting. I'm not a soccer fan, but it was still a very interesting documentary. I recommend if someone's bored, got nothing to do, check out Every Street United. So, but other than that, that's what I've been doing this week. So, you guys got anything else, or is it time to do the news?
I think we can do the news.
Yep.
All right.
Flash.
All right. And I'm going to
You
give
have to say that thing with all the ships at sea.
What?
Come on, in those old time news things, they go beep 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 beep, flash, hello, blah, 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 and all the ships at sea.
Okay.
Then they go into the news.
Whatever. Watch Dogs may soon be seeing some form of expansion, as Ubisoft recently tweeted the following. Our data indicates surveillance has become more prominent in high crime areas. With an image from what looks to be in-game saying, the city of Camden, New Jersey, had the highest crime rate in the U.S. in 2012. A 24/7 surveillance program is now in effect. So I don't know if this is a hint of a future DLC or possible expansion to the game, but we will be sure to update you when we have more. Titanfall has released a new update on PC and Xbox One. And then soon it will be to the 360. There's always a lag time there with the 360 for that developer to bring that DLC stuff to the 360. But this new DLC introduces the black market and purchasable burn card boosters, daily challenges, along with the mode to shuffle in the single player campaign into online play. I mentioned earlier, Trials DLC has arrived. So the first one is called Riders of the Rustlands. This is included in the season pass, or it's $4.99 by itself. Riders of the Rustland takes place in a wasteland outside of the squeaky clean cityscape featured Trials Fusion's core content, challenging riders with level layouts made up of makeshift metal platforms and rusty abandoned structures. The pack includes 6 new classic Trials tracks, 2 Supercross levels, 1 skill game, and 1 FMX track, along with a collection of 18 new track challenges. Fans of Pinball FX2, you can rejoice as I did. You'd be happy to know this game has been delayed, the Xbox One version that is, until sometime in August. Now normally we wouldn't be happy about a delay, but this delay is due to change that will make Xbox One gamers very happy if they have bought tables on the 360. Zen Studios has announced that table migration will be added to the game so that those who have bought tables like me, have bought like every table on the 360, you will be able to transfer them to Xbox One instead of rebuying them. Thank you, Microsoft. Thank you, Zen Studios, for listening to the community. We appreciate it. All right, so next up, if you like to buy expensive collector's editions of video games, then you'll be happy to hear that this November you will once again be given the privilege of spending up to $120 on the next Call of Duty. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare's Atlas Limited Edition is $80, includes a retail copy of the game packed in a steel bookcase, the Welcome to Atlas Advanced Soldier Manual, the bonus multiplayer map Atlas Gorge, and the Atlas Digital Content Pack, which features themed character exoskeletons and weapons. The Atlas Pro Edition for $119.99 includes all the limited edition content along with an Advanced Warfare Season Pass that will digitally deliver 4 multiplayer map packs to players throughout the next year. Also up for pre-orders is the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Atlas Digital Pro Edition for $100, which includes all the Pro Edition content minus the Retail Edition's physical goodies. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare will hit the Xbox 360 and Xbox One and PC on November 4th. Codemasters has announced that F1 2014 for the Xbox 360 will be coming out this October. And they also went on to say that the Xbox One will get a version itself of F1 early in 2015. Gamescom is almost here, and Microsoft has promised some big surprises during the conference. The Microsoft show begins on August 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time with a showing of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Multiplayer. This will be the worldwide reveal. Then on August 12th at 5 a.m. Pacific Time, the main show will begin. And we will certainly report the following podcast on any of these big surprises that Microsoft announces. Mojang is thinking about adding support for player-owned, customizable servers to Minecraft Xbox One Edition. This would allow players to set up their own online worlds, which invited players could then explore in their absence. The developer says it has yet to put any concrete plans into motion, however. And that is the news. Flash. Is that better, Rob?
No, you still did it wrong.
Whatever. So, all right. So let's move into our roundtable discussion. And guys, I tell you what, I am ready for this week's roundtables because I got beefs.
Dude, you got 3 weeks of rants all built up in your system. You need to release.
A couple, 2, 3. So, but anyways, Xbox One gets exclusive EA Access game subscription service was unveiled this week. And it's exclusive because Sony turned it down. They didn't want it. So, you can, I don't know, personally, before I get into the whole how this thing works and what it is, but, the whole thing of Sony turning it down, they've got their PlayStation Now, I think, is a service. It's a pay-for service that you can play like old PlayStation games, I think. I think that's what it is. Well, that's like just gone into beta as well. And Sony's claiming this is not a good value. And, for PlayStation gamers, that's why they denied it. I almost sort of agree with them. I know a lot of people are disagreeing, but, I'll explain why I kind of think that this might not be that great of a deal. But what the EA Access game subscription service is, if you are unfamiliar with it, essentially you download this app, and those that are in the preview program for the Xbox One, you should have gotten an email or a Xbox Live message with a code that will give you access to download this EA Access app. And then once you're in there, you can look at the vault and see the vault right now. There's 4 games in the EA Access vault. It's Madden 25, FIFA 14, Battlefield 4, and Peggle 2. So you can go in basically and download these full games and play them. They're essentially free, quote free, with your subscription. Now the subscription costs $5 a month, or you can pay $30 for a year. So, and they're going to supposedly add content to the EA Vault as time goes on. And you will also gain a 10% discount on any digital content, on any EA digital content. So that's full games, DLCs, or season passes that you purchase. You'll get a now 10% discount if you're an EA Access member. And you'll also going to be able to trial games 5 days in advance of them being released to retail. Okay, so all that really doesn't sound that bad, and you think $30 a year is really not a bad deal. So I went in when this was first announced and I read about it, and I actually got the EA Access Vault program on my computer or on my Xbox One. And as I went in to do the annual subscription, I'm like, you know what? Let me read these terms of service first. And I did. I read the terms of service. And actually, what I'm going to do is I want to pull up I posted this out on our Facebook group. Let me see if I should have had this up. I apologize. I actually posted everything in there that I wanted people to be aware of. But one of the things that people need to be aware of is that the games that are in the EA Vault aren't guaranteed to be there forever. They have the right. Okay, I think I found the article. They have the right to pull them out at any time they want. Now, yes, they'll give you 30-day notice, but that notice is going to be posted to the EA Access site. So unless you actively go out there and check it, on a regular basis, you'll never know when a game is due to be pulled from the vault. Also, that's one of the things. Also, your subscription is on an auto renewal. And if you are going to do this, don't do the $5 a month, because that equates out to $70 a year. Just do the $30 a year annual subscription. It's a lot cheaper. If you're paying $70, if you're paying $5 a month for this, that's insane. There's no value in it there. Okay. So let's look at the $30. So we'll look at this. So first of all, the first caveat is the stuff can disappear. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here's what I stated on our Facebook group. Look at the terms of service for the EA Access. It says the games that are in the vault will not be there forever. EA will change what is available to play whenever they feel like it. So if you plan on playing something that takes a ton of time, we'll say like Dragon Age, just know they may pull it after 30 days notice. Then you may end up being halfway through your game, and now you'll want to complete it, and guess what? You're going to have to go buy it. But I guess you get a 10% discount. But so say they've mentioned Dragon Age Inquisition. It's essentially, and I'll read the actual article in a minute, but the way it was stated to me makes me believe Dragon Age Inquisition is going to be in the EA Vault. I do not believe it's going to be there when this game launches, when it comes new. Why would they do that? Okay, I can see a relatively new game hitting the vault, maybe 6 months after it's been released. Maybe sooner, but I really doubt it would be any earlier than 6 months. Simply because when a new game comes out, it's just like a movie or any other piece of entertainment, like an audio, music CD or something like that. There's what the industry calls the tail. And that's how long will sales really be active? How much money can you make? And typically, like video games, it's a week or two. And then the tail is gone. People have bought it and moved on. You get your bulk of what you're going to make in that first week or two after release. Just like look in the theater. I never go see a movie when it's first out because everybody and their brother's in that theater. Okay, I like to go right before. Oh, it's looking like there's only 3 showings on the weekend. That means this is its last weekend. Let's go see it. And guess what? I'm usually one of the few people in the theater, and I get to enjoy it. So after a certain time, they're really not going to make any money on it. Then it behooves them to put it into the vault because they're really not going to lose anything, right? And now it adds, oh, hey, look, this game's in here. It's not that old. Let me subscribe to this service. But those can disappear. And we know EA wants to make money just like every other company out there, right? Okay, so with that being said, this still might be a cool idea as you do get discounts for your digital downloads and stuff. But this looks like a way, for my opinion, for you get the discount, okay? 10%. Think about it. You paid $30, so and you get if you to get your $30 back, and you get a 10% off discount. So say Dragon Age comes out, Battlefield Hardline comes out, you're going to get 10% off a $60 title, okay? And it's digital, so now you got to buy digital to get that discount. So that's what? $6? Okay? So you've got to buy 5 retail games to break even. And then all those games in the vault are now essentially free. Okay? That's within a year's time. I may not buy 5 EA titles. Maybe I'll buy it, maybe I won't. But if I do, and say I buy 6, okay, there's really, to me, there's not a big value. It's not like, woohoo, I just made $500 of free games because they can pull these. They may only keep 4 in there at a time. That's the thing, is we don't know how many games are going to be in the vault. Will they continue to add? Will it be 6, 7? Will that vault grow? Or is it going to be 4 that they recycle? I got like that, 4, I had my hand in front of it. 4 that they're going to keep rotating. We don't know yet, and they're not stating it. Now, someone in our group said that there was one of the developers or whatever from EA tweeted that they're not going to pull stuff out of the vault, that it's just in their terms of service that they have the right to do it to protect them later on. That could be the case. If that's the case, and they add stuff to the vault, then in time, maybe a year from now, then it would be a really good value. However, your auto renewal, it states that your auto renewal will renew at the current cost of what it is for the subscription. So right now it's $30. It doesn't mean a year from now that it might not be $60 or $100 for the service. It's going to auto renew at whatever EA sets that price a year from now. It will not stay at $30.
Isn't that a boilerplate statement, though? Xbox Live says the same thing.
Yes.
Any auto
You're
renewal is
gonna
gonna say
exactly.
that.
It's just things, and all I'm saying is, like, I'm not criticizing the EA Access. It's just I wanted to, everybody was like, "Oh, this is awesome. This is great. I get all this free stuff," and I'm like, "Wait a minute." So it's like I said, I'm posting this just so people understand those games could be pulled whenever they want to pull them. Yes, they'll give you 30-day notice only if you actively go out to check to see if anything's being pulled. They have the right to update that price, and when you subscribe, whether it's $5 or $30, it's an auto renewal. So they're going to bill you every month or every year. Now, yes, you can drop out at any time, but you're going to have to go figure out how to do that, okay? The 10% discount, I don't see that as a benefit because I'm going to have to spend a lot of money just to break even before I'm really getting any kind of discount. That's kind of the way I look at it. Now, some people can say, yeah, but I'm getting to play Madden, FIFA, and Battlefield, and Peggle 2. Well, that's great if you didn't own any of them. I own 2 of them already, so all I got were FIFA and Madden, which I never planned to pay for. Now, I did join this for a year, when I first decided I was going to do it, I actually didn't. I said, no way, I'm not going to do this. Then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, well, for me, it'd be good for me to do it because I could report to the community how, what it's like. How is it working? Does it work very well? And it gives me a year to report of anything new, and if anything's pulled, I'll actively be engaged in it for at least the next year. That's the reason I did it. So I did it for you, okay? The community, our fans. See, I'm putting on my own hard-earned money, and that was actually my own cash. I should have tapped into the old Amazon bank there, but I didn't. So, those are just things I wanted to bring to light. If they add to this and don't keep these 4 games, or they keep these 4 and they continue to add to it, then I think, yeah, this is a really cool idea. A game like Dragon Age, there's not anything I plan to buy, but if it's in the vault, I'll pull it down and try it. I actually pulled down FIFA 14. Haven't played it yet because I've been trying to get Madden to work. Had a lot of problems with Madden not working, but I'll go into that in a minute. Let's see. I think that was it. So, all I'm saying is be aware of the terms of service. Be aware of what this is because they have posted it there. The price could go up. They can pull the games. But other than that, I think it is a way. Oh, also, one other thing. One of the other benefits is that you can play a week in advance. However, reading the terms of service, it's a timed within that 5-day window prior to release, you have a timed limit to play. So, and
Like
that
an
time
hour
limit's
or
2
something?
hours. They stated, I read
Okay.
it, I think it was in the terms of services where I read it. It was 2 hours. So you don't get a whole week in advance. You're going to get to play the game for 2 hours and that's it. Now, the nice thing is that any leveling up you do or anything you earn will migrate into the final game, if you will. So it's like they're not giving the full game a week ahead. You're getting like a level, or you might be getting the first level of the game. You're only going to get 2 hours to play, so it's time limited, and you can play that 2 hours anytime you want in that first 5 days prior to release. But then anything you gain will migrate, so it's not like a typical demo like we just had. What was it, Destiny? Everybody's playing Destiny. They lost all those stats and everything. So, say Mass Effect comes out and they let you see that. Okay, you're going to be able to play Mass Effect 5 days before it releases, so you're going to get to you're going to demo it, if you will. You're paying to play the demo, okay, and you're only going to get 2 hours of it. But then if you truly decide to buy the game when it does release, everything you did in that demo time will transfer over into the final retail game that you download. That's kind of nice. And then you'll get the 10% discount, which is also kind of nice. So, I'm not trying to bash it. I'm certainly not, and I think some people kind of get, people get a little, you can't say anything on Facebook or on the internet without people going, you're wrong, blah, 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 how dare you say that? It's like, dude, I'm just stating facts here, making people aware, not criticizing it at all. I've actually I paid $30 and I'm in for a year. So, I'm going to give it a shot. I had a lot of issues with Madden. It seems to finally be working, and I won't even go into the EA support issue I had. But so now I've rambled for a long time on this. Bo, what do you think of this EA Access program?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm right with you on Thief. We spent $30 on Thief and we were robbed. So with this $30 for a year, I don't see an issue with it. I think the reason that Sony passed on it, if you take Sony Japan, their demographic is more the RPGs and games of that nature, where EA is more of the sports games. So it's just not the same demographic there. Um, Sports games are funny. You either love them or you hate them. Me, I can play them a little bit, but it's not my passion. So I would probably spend $30 a year, and if I ever have an itch one day to play a sports game, it's there for a year. It's not a big deal to me to play it. So this is almost like GameFly Lite, I guess you could say. You have your subscription, you get your games, and you get your discount if you want to buy the game. What I see though is most people are going to pay that $30 rather than the $5 a month for 70. So if you take, say, 1 million people, that's $30 million cash up front for EA.
Yeah, it's still, they're going to make money. Lots of people jumped on this already. You know.
I mean, there's other publishers that I would much rather pay $30 a year to play their vault of inventory, but
Like
know,
Ubisoft or something. That'd be awesome.
yeah, absolutely.
But it depends on what they put in the vault too. Even if you get Ubisoft, it might be, here's Assassin's Creed 1. Well, this is on Xbox One, so what are you going to have in the vault for Ubisoft on Xbox One? Watch Dogs? I mean, at least EA's got a big library. I mean, they've got several titles out there. Like Need for Speed, I would expect to be appearing in here sometime soon. That was, wasn't that a launch title? So I think Need for Speed will show up. Plants vs. Zombies will probably, Garden Warfare will probably show up eventually. Let me pull this article up. They talked about Dragon Age Inquisition, NBA Live 15, NHL 15, FIFA 15. Let's see. Oh, those will receive trials. Okay. So yeah, those aren't coming to the vault. Those are going to have trials. So you're going to be able to play 2 hours of Madden, NFL, NHL, FIFA, NBA 15, and Dragon Age Inquisition. You're going to be able to trial them and play them for 2 hours, and then you can purchase them at a discount if you want. So The one thing is, at least with this, at least you're getting to be able to do a trial, but it doesn't mean every EA game's going to have a trial. But I would hope that they would, now that they got this access program, because then at least I can demo stuff now. I can demo Dragon Age Inquisition if I want. And if I'm like, dude, this game rocks, then I can buy it. Which, that's one thing I don't like right now, is that this Xbox doesn't have demos. They don't require them anymore. I'm not going to spend money. I may have already owned Wolfenstein if they had a demo of it.
And a
So,
2 hour trial, that's a fair amount of time to decide if you like a game or not.
yes, yes, it is. So, what do you think, Rob?
Well, at first glance, like when they announced this, it seemed like, oh man, that's a pretty cool idea. And when I looked at it further, especially to see what some of those beginning games were in there, um, I'm definitely not excited about any of those games. Well, of the ones that I would enjoy, Peggle 2 I already have. The other, and Battlefield, I'd probably like that as well. The football and the football games, they're kind of just not my thing. I don't, not that they're bad, I just don't care for them too much. So I don't see value initially in this. However, that could definitely change. And $30 for a year, that's not bad. It's it's half the cost of a retail title, or you can probably figure it out as being like 10 cents a day, or however you want to do the math. So, like for me, I'm passing on it for the time being. There might be some point where it's worth it down the road, but it just does not interest me with what it offers currently.
Yeah, and I think if it does continue to grow, if the vault gets bigger, then yeah,
Yeah,
this is definitely a really cool idea. And just in that aspect that you can go back and play older games. They might pull Madden 25 out when they decide to put Madden 15 in there. I
yeah.
don't see them keeping multiple Madden games in there, but they do retire their sports games after just a couple of years, so you know, I don't know if we'll always have a sports game in there, but I would think the last year's version will probably always be in the vault. But it could be a way to try some stuff and maybe play games that you wouldn't normally buy, and you're paying to essentially pay to play a demo. But yeah, it's not bad if the price doesn't go up. I got to make sure I'm paying attention next year because I don't want to renew at $60 or
Oh, yeah.
more. If it stays at $30, that's not bad at all.
And one thing I wanted to add as well is that this program, especially if the vault grows, it's really going to be good for people that spend a fair amount of time gaming. Because if you can finish a game that's in the vault and you can just crank through it in a week or whatever, that's going to be a fantastic value because you can just go through all of the games probably fairly quickly. So that's it's probably a pretty good deal for people like that. However, I, on the other hand, I don't play as often as I would like. So if I get in, let's say an hour a day, that'd be just fantastic. And that's, I don't think that you're not going to get your money's worth if you take 2 months to finish a game. You know what I'm saying? If you play these games too slowly, the value isn't there as if you tore through them real fast.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. This is an Xbox One exclusive, so we're still early in the life cycle. That's EA doesn't have that many Xbox One games. That's why the Vault offering is not as big as you'd like it to be at this point. You're not going to go back and
Right.
play last year's sports game because it's not an Xbox One game.
Right. I was surprised to see Battlefield in there,
Yeah.
to be honest. That's a pretty big title. And FIFA, I mean, but they gave a lot of copies of FIFA away. But the thing again is like I mentioned about the tail, at this point, those games have pretty much sold what they're going to sell. You know, the people that are buying Battlefield or FIFA or Madden or at this point in Peggle's, I don't even think that's not even on a retail release yet. Those other three, people have bought them already. Those that really wanted them. So they're not making, and if anybody's buying it now, they're buying it in the bargain bin or they're buying it at half price or, so it doesn't hurt EA to do this at this point. So once it's tailed off and they're not making anything, there's no reason why they couldn't throw it in the vault. So
Exactly.
I'm curious to see when, so here's the thing. I got in at the start of it. It's in beta at the moment.
Yep.
And we'll see a year from now if there's still these 4 games, I'll be canceling. It's not worth it. If they've added stuff and these 4 games are still there and they continue to add and there's 2 or 3, 4 times the amount of games there, I'll probably stick with the vault if I'm playing them. So
For one, I'm glad that they tried this program. It's nice to see something new, and I'll call it innovative.
But
It's just
the
nice to
thing
see
is,
it.
it's subscription. I think that's my biggest thing. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever think about it, but it's like the world has really changed and we're in a subscription based service. TV used to be free. Now we pay subscriptions for our TV. We got to pay monthly for your cell phone, monthly for your internet. In your video games are now you're paying for online access, and now the radio used to be free. Now people pay for Sirius XM radio. Mine actually, I had a free trial with my new truck, and I've got here it is. It's sitting right here. Hey, you're gonna expire. In fact, I think I expired a day or two ago. I'm like, do I really want to pay for radio when I already got FM in my car? I'm like, it's just another subscription. It's just another monthly bill. And that's, at least this is pretty cheap and it's annual. But when EA does it and they make money, guess what? Ubisoft's going to do it. Activision's going to do it. Everybody's going to start doing it. And then and then it kinds to lead up to pretty soon. I could see it leading up to you pay a subscription service to play EA games. Get away from, we're not even buying in retail anymore. Now you're paying a subscription service to play their games, period. So that's could be where this is going. But once one does it, it's good for one. Do you want to pay for every developer or every publisher out there? EA and Ubisoft and Activision, and do you want to pay plus Xbox Live? You see where I'm saying? I think we might
Yes.
start to go, hey, I can't afford $500 a year for subscription services to play video games.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be a lot more choosy, and at some point too, some of these can change from a subscription to a utility. Like if you think about internet service, to me, an internet service is not like subscribing to cable or whatever. It's a utility. It's a must-have, along with electricity and gas.
Dude,
So
it's like,
there's different
yeah,
perception to these.
it's like back when, remember when I first got my TiVo?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I had to basically fight with my wife, come on, we gotta have TiVo. I had to justify the cost. Now, if I tried to pull it out of our house, dude, she would probably kill me. It's become one of those things. It's like you said, it's a necessity. And before you
So,
know it, you're paying
yeah.
for something every month or every year that you never needed or had before. And that's the thing. This is kind of cool. It sounds great, but when everybody else gets on board, and all of a sudden we're like, man, we have to pay subscription services to all these companies. Then are we? Why am I paying for Xbox Live? If I gotta pay EA and Ubisoft to play their games anyways.
Yeah.
We're gonna get buried under subscriptions. So I kind of, I like what they're doing, but at the same time, I'm trying to be very, open-minded and thinking about what is this, where is this going, what's really in it for me. They're doing this to make money. They're making money on
Yep.
this, so they don't have the gamer in mind. Okay. We like to think that these companies are all run by gamers and they're all gamers themselves. They're not. They're a business. They're in it to make money. The
Yeah,
developers are gamers, not the publisher.
right. Yeah, the publishers just look at numbers on a spreadsheet,
That's
and
right.
they don't care about anything unless it's got a big number next to it. Well, here's a question for you guys. So, with this program being $30 a year, if someone is new to the Xbox, they just pick up their Xbox One, they're looking for some games, and they want Battlefield 4. Do they buy Battlefield 4, or do they subscribe to this access program?
I would say subscribe to this program. If you want Battlefield and you're planning to buy the season pass and get all the DLC and you really want that game, I say why not? You pay $30. You're going to get you're going to get Battlefield 4 plus 3 other games, and then you're going to get a 10% discount on that season pass. So
Right.
why not?
But there's a risk.
There's a risk that Battlefield may get pulled one day.
Right. So what happens if you have Battlefield 4, you buy the DLC and it gets pulled? That's your
Then you
risk.
gotta buy it either digitally at whatever the cost is for the game then, or you go find it for $20-$30 at your local video game store. you know,
10.
Yeah.
or $10, and buy the physical media. I mean that is the risky run, but we'll see. Maybe they'll stay there.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, that they've
'Cause we
made
don't
their
know.
money on it. I can't really see them pulling at Battlefield next week.
Yeah.
But you're not going to see new games in here. It's the vault. It is not like when Dragon Age comes out. It's not going to be in the vault. You will not see new games in here. You will. What we're probably going to see added, I would expect to see like Need for Speed. I'm sure will end up in the vault.
Right.
Sometime in the future.
And
I'd have
y-
to.
you
I don't know what
figure
else they have out there that they've released.
you figure if what's in there right now, if there's any kind of indication, then like right now, the games that they're putting in there are primarily what, like 8, 9 months old? And that's just because they have to put those in for the program. They can't put anything older in there.
Well, these are release titles, but yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
we're only. When did the Xbox come out? Wow,
November 22nd.
it's been almost a year, dude.
No, it's 9 months.
We're in August already.
Yeah.
I keep thinking like the Xbox One's like, oh, we've only had it a couple of months. Man, we're almost back to Christmas time again. This year has flown. So yeah, I mean, they'll add a few more, but we might even see some like arcade titles. I don't know if they've got maybe not. I don't know if they have any smaller stuff. I don't think they've released any smaller stuff. I think it's all retail that they have, but I'd have to go look. But like Plants vs Zombies and Need for Speed, I could see hitting by the end of the year. They might hit the vault. So, and again, if they give you the retail game, and someone gets this and they're like, "Ooh, Madden was awesome," or we'll go with Battlefield. "Ooh, I didn't buy Battlefield. Now I get it free. This is a great game. I love it. Ooh, there's DLC. Let me buy it." They just got you to buy more money or spend more money.
Right.
I mean, so like I said, they can give you the retail game for free. And that's what, if you notice, a lot of the Xbox 360 games that you get for free, a lot of them have DLC. And when you go to download it, right there on the same page is, here's these DLCs. If you like the game and you got it for free, you might be inclined to spend money on that game and continue, and the publishers and developers will still continue to see money. So it is good. I think a good access to revenue. People just need to be aware of what they're getting. And like I said, it's beta. We got to see if the vault grows. And if it does, I think it is a good program. So
Fair enough.
all right. Anything else on that, Bo or Rob?
Nope.
All
I
right.
was gonna say, what's not a good program is the next topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad programs,
Speaking of bedroom, well, I won't even go into. Like I said, I had some issues with before we jump into that. I did have some issues with Madden not running, but I'm kind of convinced that those issues may have been related to the dashboard update that I had so many issues with, because once I got the new update, all of a sudden that game started to work. So I don't, or maybe there was a background update to EA Access itself that corrected it, but I don't know. But if you are in EA Access, just remember it is a beta, so we could see some hiccups. But yes, Bo, why don't you start us off then on this next issue?
Well, our favorite game store we love to hate, GameStop, is reportedly introducing a new credit card, and it is geared towards the younger generation of gamers. Now, the problem is the interest rate is going to be 26.99%, which is about double the current average market average. And it will be tied with the company's Power Up Rewards program and will, get this, reward customers with 5,000 points for basic members and 15,000 if you're a pro member. So far, the exact details as far as when it's going to be released, they're unknown at this point. But they are saying that if you are a Power Up member, you are automatically pre-approved for the card. Thoughts?
Well,
isn't 26.99 the highest allowed by law?
I think now it is. It used to, before they passed the laws, it was higher. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you, you take a look at that percentage and you don't think anything of it, but you buy $60 games here, maybe a game system, whatever, you run it up, you pay the minimum, you're paying astronomically by the time you pay that card off, if you pay it off. And with younger people that get the card that just don't, they're not aware of what damaged credit can do, it's going to be bad. It's great for GameStop, but it's going to be bad for the individual.
well,
Or it's good for the bank that
Yes.
does it.
I gotta. The one thing is, I'm with you, Kay. So don't get me wrong. I think this is crap, and there's no way I would do this. However, I can't lob fireballs at GameStop for the interest rate, because if you look at your Best Buy cards and any other non-major credit card, you look at most of your store cards, most of them will be in that 23, 24 to 27% interest rate.
True. Very true.
So
Yeah.
it's not. So yeah, it's like, what? But then again, well, who isn't doing that? And there's even major credit cards that are charging you in the 20% range. They're like, oh, we'll give you 0.3% interest, but you one day late on a payment, bam, you're in the 20% range. That's why I'm like, credit card debt free, baby. I'm like, I'm done paying somebody else. It's time to pay myself. But this is what they do. So I can't really ding them for that. It doesn't surprise me. Everybody's doing that, so I don't really think I can't come at it as like, oh, GameStop's evil. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but so is every other credit card out there. So, and yes, they're going to do their tactics to, their hard sell, and they're giving these stupid bonus points. I was a member for a long time. I never used any of those things. I never cashed them in. It's like, what are you going to get out for 15,000? You might get $10 off of a used game or something. Whoop you do. I'm like, they're going to make it all back up with a 27% interest.
You could probably get Wolfenstein for $30. Trade your points in.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, here's the thing. Your Home Depot, your Lowe's, even your Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond, whatever, all these secondary stores that have their credit cards, and again, their interest rate's higher, that's going to be geared more towards somebody in their late 20s, 30s. It's kind of settled.
Right.
Video game credit card is geared towards the college student. As soon as you turn 18 and you're responsible for your own credit, that's their demographic. I'm simply saying the majority of those people aren't credit aware, and they're going to max it out, they're going to pay the penalty and pay a lot more. And it's, it's almost like bubblegum flavored cigarettes, it's
right.
To me, it comes across, you throw GameStop at it, you throw the card, regardless, throwing their name and association with it, it's targeted to a younger demographic that's not necessarily ready for the high interest credit cards.
Bo, you bring up a very good point, and I was kind of thinking along the same lines, where this card is really, like you said, geared towards somebody that really doesn't have a credit history, which to me is very indicative of that interest rate, the 26.99, because they said that everybody that's part of the programs is pre-approved.
Mhm.
So there's an incredible amount of risk with that because
Hmm.
just because you take out a credit card doesn't mean that you'll pay the bill, unfortunately. And for the majority of people that have an established card or history or whatever you want to call it, they're going to look at this thing and they go, I'm not going to bother. Why am I going to get this card that is good at one store, let alone GameStop, where let's say you buy used games, you drop 30, 40 bucks on a game, you're either going to pay cash or you're going to put it on your, regular bank Visa or
Mhm.
whatnot. So the interest rate is probably fitting for the risk that they're taking, giving it to everybody, and it's marketed at people that probably don't have credit cards. They don't have um, that history, that credit history where they can purchase stuff through credit. So um, that's probably some of the reasoning as to why these things are as they are,
Mhm.
numbers wise and all.
Yeah, and don't forget too, like it was pointed out in our Twitch chat room right now, Alshep said that they probably didn't have a choice, that the interest rate would be set by the finance company that's backing the
Yeah,
card. So
exactly. It's by the
it's not,
bank.
yeah, it's a bank that's actually running that. It's not GameStop. Will, I'm sure, will make money off it. Don't get me wrong. It's but it's probably not a lot. They might get money for anybody that gets a new card. They might get a bonus for that, but by having it available, they might be able to get people to buy more stuff, or they're going to sell more product, and the bank probably makes all of that finance, that interest rate probably all goes to the bank.
Yep.
Probably, maybe some go back to GameStop, but I'm sure they're going to
'Cause-
get something for doing the program, but it's just them probably thinking, hey, we can offer our customers another way if they want to
yeah,
to get something like buy a new console or buy two consoles.
yeah. Those bank and retailer relationships are really kind of interesting because I remember back in the day when you and I were at Circuit City, how they had that Circuit City credit card,
Yeah.
and it was financed by FNANB, Finanby,
Fernanby,
as,
yeah.
as we used to call it. And like even with that, and granted, this is how Circuit City worked. It doesn't mean that every retailer works like this. But when you even purchased something, let's say you purchased a TV and it came with 1 year no interest on your Circuit City card, the bank got that interest. They got all of it. However, Circuit City paid it. So the bank gets their money no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on who it comes from. And in this case, they're going to get their money because since they're the ones that are shouldering that risk, not GameStop, right?
Right. So,
And I, and
it
I
is what it is.
and I can't see these credit limits being very large. I imagine the majority of people only get like a couple $100, if that.
250,
Yeah,
Does
500. Yeah.
yeah. I
yeah,
would say 500 to 1,000. I mean, the console is $500, so they probably want you to be able to at least buy a console and a
yeah,
few things. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I would think it'd be maxed out at a grand.
yeah.
So,
Like I remember when I got my first credit card in college, it was $700, and for me, even at that time, that was a lot.
and it was maxed out. What, the next day?
Nah,
Yeah.
a week
So.
later.
So, all right. So, just again, we're not beating up on GameStop. But we're just trying to make you guys aware of the fine print. So, be sure to make smart decisions in your gaming out there, whether it be buying a credit card or if you're gonna charge it, it's probably best to use a you know I don't want to give any bank credit, or any free advertisement. So just use the credit card of your choice that might not be a store specific credit card. So you probably get a better interest rate. So that's your TXL tip of the day, right? So
Sure.
all right, so our last round table, and we need to get a truck in here. I'm gonna let Bo go over this one because this one actually came courtesy of him. This whole story, and I thought this was interesting. So we'll let him chat this one up?
Well, this was kind of an interesting find. I cleaned out the pantry this past week, and up on the top shelf, stuff I haven't touched in a long time, I found a mint condition. I don't think I even read it. GamePro magazine dated October 2006, so just about 8 years ago. And the topic in it was graphics, PS3 versus 360. And the question was, when you place games from the Xbox 360 and the PS3 side by side, is there any difference in graphics? The answer: this is debatable. Sony claims that the PS3 and its cell processor are way ahead of the Xbox 360 technologically, but the truth of the matter is that both consoles are quite comparable in terms of raw power. The multi-core cell processor is clocked at 3.2 gigahertz, and the Xbox 360's Xenon has 3 cores and is also clocked at 3.2 gigahertz. Both consoles have a total of 512 megs of RAM, and Sony gets a little advantage with a 550 megahertz GPU compared to the 500 megahertz of the 360. Sony also boasts that the PS3 can perform a 1.8 teraflop, terafloating point operation per second, whereas the 360 can perform 1. But it actually evens out as the 360 has more memory bandwidth. It all sounds complicated, but really the two consoles are very similar in pure power. The biggest difference in graphics is in the output. The PS3, the $599 model, has HDMI out for digital output in 1080p, and Blu-ray discs can potentially store more than 20 times more data than the Xbox 360's DVD drive. But considering how many people actually own 1080p capable TV sets, most people will not get that extra bonus, and in actuality, only the HD enthusiasts will really be able to tell the difference between the 720p and 1080p. That said, I've seen lots of gameplay from both consoles and can say that graphics are similar. I would probably give Sony the slight nod, judging by games like Heavenly Sword and Motorstorm, but Stranglehold and Gears of War look good on 360. It's a tough call. So, here we are, next generation, current generation, whatever you want to call it, years later, and it's the same argument. So I just thought it was interesting that back then, and of course the speeds that they were talking about, just how far we've changed in one generation.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. What I liked in that article was, the HD enthusiasts will really be able to tell the difference between 720p and 1080p. I myself don't think I would be able to honestly tell the difference. Maybe, but I don't think it's going to make a difference when I'm playing a game. I mean, games were fun back on the Atari 2600. I mean, that was far from HD, man. Remember Combat? You were launching a square. Well, your big square launched a smaller square at the other big square at the other end of the TV. So it's just, I think it's kind of stupid. It's funny that that you found that article, and the same type of argument was still going on back then as it is now. And it doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters. Are there games to play? Are they fun to play? Does the system work? Do you enjoy it? Are you getting value out of your money? That's what it comes down to. So I'd say, yeah, I've gotten my money's worth out of my Xbox One. I really enjoy it. So I only want the 1080p games just so we can stop all the stupid, Sony people bashing. It's like over a stupid thing. It's just kind of like, it'd be like, oh, my box is blacker than yours, or mine is shinier than yours. Do you care? They're both sitting under a TV that's got and they both have an inch of dust on them. Does it matter? You can't tell which one's shinier or which one's blacker under the dust. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. So it's like, yep. I just tired of hearing all the news stories about it. That's the only reason I want them to just make them even. So.
Well, and here's the thing. Back then, the PS3 was $600 for the HDMI.
Yeah, and the 360 was what, $400, right?
Yeah, but they're ripping the $100 difference on this generation, which is less than the last one.
Yeah, it was $200. Yeah, it's just so asinine because they all the whole PS3 generation. Oh, you guys got to pay $50 a year for online. Well, guess what they're doing now? Like Sony is following as much as they say they don't follow anybody or they're for gamers or whatever. They're following the Microsoft playbook. Microsoft's
Well,
making a gajillion dollars on fees, so they're like, "Hey, let's tap into that," and that's what they're doing. You know,
you know, you pay $50 a year for something that works.
right?
I mean, it
Yeah.
was years before they had cross game chat ability,
Yeah.
and they kind of swept the whole break in, or the system network was down for days, weeks when they had the
Weeks. The security
weeks.
breach, yeah, it was
Yeah.
weeks.
Uh,
So,
Xbox has not experienced that. They have good
knock
security.
on wood. Knock on
Yeah.
wood. Everybody, quick!
Sorry,
Pew! Hey, why is my Xbox turning on? So
but
it
well,
could happen. It could happen. I mean, we're starting to see lately. It seems like we've had several outages of different things recently. I mean, as a network grows bigger and you get more people on it, and there's more opportunity to break. So it stinks that happened to Sony. I don't laugh at them about it because it was the gamers and consumers that had their data compromised. Hopefully it doesn't happen to Xbox, but it could. It's the world we live in, but it could also happen. My GameStop credit card could be compromised. So,
well, and I know at the beginning of the program you said that you'd experienced some difficulties with the updates and everything on the system, but I will give Microsoft credit. How many updates have we had? What's the system evolved into?
Oh, yeah.
And where's PS4? And some of their biggest fans have finally remarked the same thing. They pretty much have the same system they had a year ago,
Yep.
and ours has grown exponentially.
Yeah, there was an article. I think someone posted in our Facebook group this week about that Sony people are actually starting to say, "Hey, how come Microsoft's getting on? Look at all these things that they've added to theirs, and we've had like one or two updates, and they didn't really add much." It's so it is. And I think we've got a better game library. So I think we got more games to play. I know several people that have PS4s, and they're like, "I don't even touch it. There's nothing to play." So we'll see. It's yeah, PlayStation right now is outselling the Xbox One, but guess what? We're about to launch. Here I do it again, like I'm Microsoft. Microsoft's about to launch the Xbox One in China. That's 1 billion people, man. That's over 1 billion people that are now going to have the ability to buy an Xbox One. And there's Chinese developers on board writing software and games for the console. So they're writing Chinese games for a Chinese audience. I think, and my understanding, now I know Sony's going to release their too, but I don't know their date yet. I don't know if they have a date yet. I have not seen it. And this, we're yeah. Dude, Microsoft needs to pay me. I keep thinking I work for them. Oh, we're going to launch in China here in September. So Microsoft is going to get a head start in China, it seems like. So that could really seriously, if it goes well, could really quickly close that gap. It just depends on how the Chinese are going to take to an American company, console company. I don't know. But I don't think the Chinese like the Japanese either, so they might not want to buy a Nintendo or a PlayStation. We could have a good foothold. I did it again. Golly. Microsoft has a really good opportunity there. So we'll see what happens. But all right, I think that's it. Unless you guys got any further comments.
Nope.
Alrighty, so let's hop over to our community, and so check us out on Facebook. Just look for This Xbox Life, where you can type in that URL you see there on your screen. If you'd rather do that, I'd rather just search for This Xbox Life. We got a growing community, lots of great people out there. So jump in, give your gamer tag. We have a gamer tag database in the group, so you can match up people's real names to their gamer tags, so you can try to get to know them better. We also do have Twitter account, so you can follow us on Twitter. We also have a voicemail system set up, and go to our website and click the voicemail box on the right hand side. It says send us voicemail, and you can have your voice in the call. Now we are going to try to play one right now. And this is from Catflap 1970. He's the one that wrote in about the 3D question that we answered a few weeks ago. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hi guys, great show. And thanks to the community for answering the 3D questions I posted a couple of weeks ago. I have two simple questions for you. Do you think the Xbox One's audio commands are going to be pushed more? Do you think they're going to enhance the capabilities? Because to be honest, when I come back home and I say Xbox One, the TV comes on, surround sound, the console, and the cable box all comes on. It's a great facility, and I believe it could be pushed more, as they wanted the Xbox One as the media console. Second question is, by using the Xbox One as the media console, you hit an immediate problem. If you want to play a game on your Xbox One and your partner wants to watch a cable show, you have a clash of interest, because you cannot do both at the same time if you truly use the Xbox One as the media center they wanted you to do. They should have had a couple of HDMI outputs that would have resolved this problem. Personally, my setup is a 55-inch LED, my Xbox One, and a 28-inch LED for my cable box, so I can switch between the two whenever I wish. Has anyone else had this problem, where if you truly use the Xbox One as your center media device, you have problems with trying to do two things at once because of the lack of HDMI outputs? Thanks guys, keep the show up. It's a great show. It's great to hear a show where people are not using profanities, and it's a reasonable chat that I always enjoy every week. So from the UK, this is Catflap 1970. Keep the good work up.
All right. Thanks, Catflap. I appreciate the voicemail. Apologize if it was a little loud there for you guys at the beginning. Normally the voicemails have been real quiet. You guys couldn't hear them, but with our new system, it works a lot better. So about halfway through there, I was able to drop it down a few bars and make it a little quieter for you. So we'll get that corrected in the future. So hopefully it didn't blast anybody's ears out. So Robin Brunn, what? Well, first of all, he was asking if the Kinect audio capabilities will be pushed. I think they're going to continue to expand on it. I hope they do. Like I said, I've said several times, I want them in other things, like my fan over here. I wish I could just talk to my fan and tell it to turn on. Instead of, I'm like, because the remote is like over by my chair. It's not on my desk where it normally is. So I'd have to get up and walk away. But if I could just say fan on, there we go. I want more voice control things in my house. The Xbox One is really, because I always had my Kinect unplugged on the 360. The Xbox One has made me want voice control and other things. I've been downstairs and I'll get up to leave and I'll be like, Xbox, oh, never mind, wrong room. Because I want to turn everything off. So then I'm like, where's the remote, you know? I would love to see it expanded, and I'd love to see Microsoft be able to expand it into the OS. There are speech recognition capabilities in the Surface, which are like Kinect, Kinect audio stuff. So it's already in the Surface tablet. So we could expand this stuff into your desktops and TVs and other appliances and stuff throughout our homes. And I think they will. I think Microsoft has their, they didn't develop this just simply for video gaming, because we've seen Kinect used in things like the medical community and stuff like that. So there's other applications, a lot of stuff that Microsoft is pursuing with Kinect. So, I think that, we'll see a lot more stuff being pushed and better language understanding, and, especially for like our friends that aren't in the US that can't use Kinect because they don't have the audio language stuff yet. I think we'll see improvements in that too. What do you guys think? Am I off my rocker with that one?
Well, I agree with you. Just something like that, with the amount of time that they've spent developing it, I'm sure the R&D dollars and so forth. It'd be silly to just lock it into one particular product. They're going to expand it, and it's something that I think we're going to see across all different sorts of devices, where we're going to have voice control, because now we can do it. Like years ago, Microsoft bought a company called Tellme, which I think a lot of Tellme's technology is probably used within a lot of this voice recognition software. And even what Google's done, I know Google's a competitor. I mean, what they've done with voice has been phenomenal. Just a quick little anecdote on that as well, where a couple of years ago, Google offered a free directory service. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like 1-800-GOOG-411, where you could just get free directory assistance, and it was all speech-based. And it turns out, at least I heard, the reason why they offered that, especially on an 800 number, and it's free versus paying, I think directory assistance was like $1.50, $1.80 per call otherwise with the telephone company. They were using it to capture speech patterns from people, and they ran it for a couple of years, and they got millions of different accents and questions. And it was, to me, I think it's like a genius way of collecting data. You just offer a free service, and the free service is not what you're giving away. You're actually like collecting information from people. That's like clever. But you can see how it's integrated into phones. And you said the Surface and the Kinect. I mean, that stuff, it's gonna be here like 10, 15 years from now. I think it's going to be in just about every product. It's going to be a TV. You're not going to need a remote. You're just going to tell your TV, change the channel 1, 2, 3, and it'll just do it. And it'll do it perfectly. Is what we've got now with the Kinect. I know Kinect's second generation essentially, but it is literally just, the tip of the iceberg. It is, the most basic of capabilities, and what's coming down the road is really what everyone's shooting for, and it's going to be the impressive stuff. And 10, 20 years down the road, we're not going to be able to live without it. We're going to think back in the days of, like, I was just thinking the other day about how, heck, when I was younger, they used to have remote controls that, well, there was two kinds. There was clickers. Remember those? Those like Zenith had them. You press that little button, they go click. And like 4 buttons, and it would change the channels. I mean, like, what was that like 20, 30 years ago?
It was like channel up, channel down, volume up, volume down. That's all it had.
Oh, it was on,
and it was a huge box.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it had channel. I think channel up and down. There was a volume that I remember used to cycle somehow. It wasn't truly like up and down. At least on my TV, it would step through a couple of different things and then go back to the lowest. And then the other alternative to that was wired remotes.
Yes, I was going to say wired. Well, there was one more, but there was one more before that, even before wired.
What was
it
that?
Was called
the kid?
Yes, the kid, the parent going, go change the channel. I was the remote when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Go change it to channel 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, we look back on that stuff, and it's like, wow, that was pretty archaic. And now, we've got the fancy remotes, fancy screens. We don't even, give them a second thought. That's how the speech stuff is going to be in 20 years, easily.
Don't forget the clapper now.
The clapper.
True. Very true.
And I mean, audio, I think, really started before Kinect, because Microsoft did the Microsoft Sync with the audio commands and voice controls in the car. Because I got Microsoft Sync in my truck, and I have to hit a button to turn it on, but then I can speak to my car, and it'll, I can say call somebody and say their name and cell phone or home, and it'll automatically dial them. So I think that's really cool, and that's only going to continue. So Kinect brought it to the video game, brought it into the home, and I think we're going to see the audio capabilities far expand, and Microsoft is in different places, so it's cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, because just getting the audio is not a big deal. The interpretation is what is the tough thing, and that's the thing that's going to evolve.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different ways that you can phrase things, in the English language alone, let alone, whatever the other locales are that the systems are being sold in.
Yep.
Like, just say, right now we're kind of locked into certain phrases, but eventually it's going to be natural language. It could be anything from, let's say, turning on a TV. You can say, I'd like to watch TV, or turn on the TV, or, I want to watch Seinfeld. There's so many different ways that you can phrase these things, and
Hmm.
that's what's going to evolve.
Well, now Cortana's coming to the Xbox One,
Yep.
so that's going to connect to the.
Cortana will tell you jokes. I was listening to, I think it was the Week in Tech. I think it was Rob. I think it was that guy. Was it Paul Thurrott? I think it
Yeah.
was that show that he's on. I think it was him and Leo and Mary Jo. I think it was Paul
Oh,
that
that's
was,
the Windows Weekly.
or Windows Week. I
Right.
think it was on that show where he
Yeah.
actually was talking to, because he had the beta of it, and they was like, or no, you know what? It might have been on Major Nelson. I think it was. It was on Major Nelson's show with, I think E was on there, and he had and he was like, Cortana, tell me a joke, and she would tell a joke, and they were actually kind of funny. They actually had her do a couple, so I'm like, that's funny, So I
Yeah.
actually tried it with Siri, and it's like, I don't understand that, or I can't, I'm like, Siri, you suck. And then of course she's like, that's very rude of you. But no, yeah, I think Cortana coming to Xbox will. So again, there you go. The audio capabilities are going to be improved upon and expanded on. So, all right. So his second thing, and I didn't completely understand this. I don't know if you guys caught his whole thing, but he was saying that the X1 cannot really truly be used as a media device because it only has one HDMI output. Um, I I mean, I guess that doesn't affect me because mine's in my office. I got the biggest TV in the house. Go figure.
Of
And it's in
course.
my office. But I mean, no one else really uses it, so it only serves one purpose at a time. Unless I'm watching the credits for Watch Dogs, where I would then snap TV and watch TV while the stupid credits for Watch Dogs roll on for 20 minutes. Um, have you guys had any issues with using? Do you guys use your Xbox One as a sole media device to control everything?
I don't.
What? I mean, I think I do. What do you mean?
Well, I couldn't quite understand because he said he's got like two TVs and he has to output switch between them with his cable box on one and his Xbox One on one. But if the Xbox One, I think if I am understanding correctly, if his Xbox One was a true media device, it should have multiple HDMI outs. That way, that you could play a game on one TV while someone's watching TV on the other TV, all being served off the Xbox One. I think that's the way I took his question, but you can't do that. You can snap TV or snap the game, but that's
Hmm.
not what they want. He has two monitors, so say you got two TVs in front of you, your wife's watching TV on one, and you can play video game on the other one. And the Xbox One serves both. So he's saying it's not really a true
But
media device until it has multiple HDMI outputs.
well, whether you tie everything into a receiver first, you still only have one monitor out cable going to your screen. Even with like DirecTV, it's still only going to be sending the signal to one TV at a time.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
I
I'm
don't
not really
understand.
sure. So what I will say is, Cat Flap, I'm gonna call on. Oh, I apologize. I think it's Christoph is our AV guy in our group. I believe it's Dark Christoph is. I know there was someone in our group that's big into installing all this type of stuff, so he might be able to answer that in the Facebook group. Yeah. So I'm calling out to you, Christoph, or anybody that is an AV person that may be able to answer that question. Can you guys go out and post it into our Facebook group, and hopefully answer that for Cat Flap? So, or call in using the voicemail and answer it, and we'll play it next week. So,
Yeah, I could see it, failing where the DVR capabilities, you're not able to record TV to the hard drive. I understand that, but
right.
it's play unless you're in a because if you're in full screen, you're only going to see one thing or the other. Either you're playing the game full screen or you're watching TV full screen. Other than that, you're going to be in split screen.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for the voicemail. Hopefully, we answered some questions and didn't make things more confusing. You can also email us, contact at thesxboxlife.com, and you can reach out to us via Twitter, but we don't monitor it. I don't. Brun might on occasion, so if you reach us that way, you may or may not hear back from us. If you do hear from me, it'll be way late. I check it about once a month. All right, so let's go in. Rob, do we have any retail releases this week?
That's a very good question, Mark. Let me take a look. All right, so first off, for the Xbox 360, we have Sacred 3. I don't recall this game from before. Did they just sneak this one in?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not one that's been
Yeah.
a lot of. I've not heard anything about it.
Yeah. It's a role-playing game, Sacred 3, from publisher Deep Silver.
Yeah, Deep Silver. They those are the Dead Island guys.
Yeah.
So
And that's it. The rest of the titles come out later in the month. Then for the Xbox One, we're looking at a big nothing this week.
big blank, like you see on the screen right now, blank.
Yeah,
So where
that's
might
right.
where might one purchase the Sacred 3 if they so wish to purchase that game?
That's a good question, man, because I know the perfect place where you can purchase that. You can also purchase a case of chewing gum and also a support your favorite podcast, and that is Amazon.com. Just go to our affiliate link at thisxboxlife.com/Amazon. That's /Amazon, and it'll take you to where you need to go.
All right. Well, that takes us out of here for this week. So if you listen to us on your podcast, if you listen to us on audio, please rate us 5 stars or, rate us highly, please, with your podcast app of choice. We certainly appreciate that. And as always, we always enjoy hearing your voicemails. So now that we got it working right so we can hear everybody, please send us in some voicemails. We appreciate it. And I think, Rob, we're going to have another giveaway here coming up soon. So we need to plan something. Maybe next week we can do another contest. I got money to spend, buddy. We got money to spend. I say we give it back out to the community. What did we do last time? $60 gift cards, right? We did 3 of them.
Times 3, yeah.
Times 3. I think we could do that maybe again here real soon. Couple more $60 gift cards. Community seemed to
Maybe.
like that. So, alrighty. Well, you guys, Rob, Bo, you got any last words before we take off?
Yes,
Nope.
sir.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I am Mark, aka Wingman709. I am taking off.
And I'm Rob, also known as Prestar. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch y'all next week.
I'm Bo, Venge for Loki. Until later.